Today, I want to talk to you about some fall idioms that you can use in everyday conversation. Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which is where you want to be to practice and improve your English skills. And today, since it is fall, I wanted to talk to you about some common idioms and expressions that you can use in everyday conversation. And this will really help improve your comprehension and overall English fluency. So the first idiom that I want to talk to you about is to turn over a new leaf. And this just means to start fresh, to start new. You really want to change your attitude or your circumstances. So for example, maybe somebody might lose their job and they say, okay, I need to turn over a new leaf. I need to start fresh and I need to change these circumstances. I need to start looking for another job, start anew, start fresh.
Maybe a road trip is exactly what I need right now. I'm turning over a new leaf.
Starting tomorrow, I am turning over a new leaf. Time with you is my #1 priority.
I'm turning over a new leaf, and my good luck starts now.
The next idiom is the autumn years. And well, autumn is another word for fall. And if somebody's referring to the autumn years, they're talking about the later point in someone's life. They would refer to it as the autumn years when somebody gets older. And yes, this is not your autumn years. That's our little girl, Emmy. She's just a little baby. But when you're talking about later on in somebody's life, you may hear them refer to it and say the autumn years.
You're getting a little philosophical for me.
I suppose so. They say it happens in the autumn years.
I may teach, I may write a book. Whatever the hell one does when one approaches the autumn of one's years.
Then we have the idiom to drive someone nuts. And this is relevant. I think of fall. I often think of nuts. You can find them on the ground. And nuts is also an informal word, kind of slang that means the same as crazy. So if you drive someone nuts, it just means that you are making them crazy. Perhaps a person could be driving you nuts, or maybe a situation is just driving you nuts. It's making you crazy.
Hey, I'm not gonna mince words, Mitchell. It is driving me nuts.
You better thank your lucky stars I'm not in this competition, because I would eat you for breakfast.
You're driving me nuts.
Babe, your mother drives you nuts.
Then we have one of my favorite idioms, because I like using it from time to time, especially when I feel sick, and that idiom is under the weather. And you say that somebody maybe feels a little bit under the weather, and what it means is that person is kind of starting to feel a little sick. So it's not like they're really sick. It's just maybe they're a little sick or they're starting to feel sick. You'd say, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather right now.
Yeah, heard you were under the weather.
Oh, I didn't think I was gonna get to see you until tomorrow.
Yeah, well, Bernadette's a little under the weather.
Anubis, you sound unwell.
Well, I have been feeling a little under the weather, but I'm feeling much better now.
Next is neck of the woods. And if you hear somebody talking about for example, what are you doing in my neck of the woods? They're talking about a particular area or maybe even a particular neighborhood. So that's what it means, neck of the woods. And oftentimes, yeah, people might ask a question like I just did, and they say, hey, you see somebody in your neighborhood and you say, hey, what are you doing in my neck of the woods? Or perhaps in the office that you work at, somebody in another department comes and visits you in your department and you'd say, hey, yeah, what are you doing in my neck of the woods? What are you doing in this particular area?
So what brings you to my neck of the woods?
A few errands.
I'm going to be in your neck of the woods soon, and it would be very nice to see you.
Well, if you ever get down in my neck of the woods, you got a place to stay.
Another idiom with woods is not out of the woods, because when I think of the fall, I often think of the woods. And if you say that you are not out of the woods, it just means that you are not out of danger. So out of the woods is talking about out of danger, and I think most of the time you hear it with the word not. Somebody is trying to say that they are not safe. They are still in a dangerous area. They are not out of the woods just yet. I think you might hear this in TV shows and movies. If somebody is being chased by another person or a group of people and they haven't lost that group, they're still being chased. They say, we're not out of the woods just yet. We need to keep running.
Mike's gonna be okay.
Can we see him?
Not out of the woods yet. I guess one of you could go in for just a minute.
The heartbeat's stronger, but we're not out of the woods. Need to get things going now. The cord is wrapped around the neck.
The next idiom is shaking like a leaf. And if somebody is shaking like a leaf, it's a way to describe somebody who is trembling. This person is shaking, they're trembling. mostly because of fear. You can say, oh, they're shaking like a leaf. The same way that in autumn, leaves, they tremble, they shake, and then they fall to the ground. And again, if somebody is trembling, then you could say they are shaking like a leaf.
Come sit in your chair, dearie. You're shaking like a leaf.
He's going to be on muscle. Muscle? He's shaking like a leaf. How's he going to do anything?
He wanted to talk about his father's symptoms. He Skyped. And there he was shaking like a leaf.
Then we have to get wind of something. And if you get wind of something, it just means that you hear some rumor about something. It could be a rumor about something or a rumor about someone. And you get wind of this information. You learn about it, you hear about it. You could say, yeah, I got wind of that. I heard about that rumor, or I heard that piece of information. To get wind of something.
I thought the publicity would really help Zip Couch. Oh, God. Once the press gets wind of this,
Bolivians get wind of this. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, you wear pissy pants.
If the pervert community gets wind of morning jogging, God help us.
Then we have the apple of someone's eye. And if you're talking about the apple of someone's eye, it just refers to a person who is loved the most by someone else. So for example, yes, I could say that Emmy right here, you are the apple of my eye. That yes, she is loved the most by me. She is the apple of my eye, as well as Joanna. They are the apples of my eye. So if you describe someone as the apple of your eye, it just means that they are loved the most by you. What are you doing?
He wants a kiss.
Mwah.
Oh, look who it is. My husband, the apple of my eye.
Hello? Oh, apple of my eye, love of my life.
I mean, his household was a joyous place. And his wife, Dolly, well, she was the apple of his eye.
Then we have the idiom cold turkey. And you just got to include this because turkey, Thanksgiving, it is a very, very popular word around fall. So if somebody, you might talk about quitting cold turkey. And what that means, cold turkey, is that somebody stops a bad habit immediately and maybe suddenly as well, and you would quit something cold turkey. Often I think of smokers. Somebody is a smoker, they've been smoking for years, and then they just suddenly quit. They would say, I quit cold turkey. So any kind of bad habit that somebody might have, whether it's smoking or drinking, and then they suddenly stop, you could say that they quit cold turkey.
No, it's not your fault. No, it's partly my fault. Because I made you quit cold turkey.
You're right, Lisa. Love isn't about fixing someone. I'm just gonna give her up cold turkey.
You need to prove to Tara that you can be trusted.
Cold turkey, Jax. No booze, no weed. I'm serious.
the world can't just quit on oil and nuclear power or cold turkey. You'll dismantle our entire economy overnight.
So there you have it. Those are some great idioms that you can use in everyday conversation. They are all related to the fall, but you can use them in a variety of different situations and contexts. If you enjoyed this lesson and you learned something new, please hit that like button down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Say bye. Bye. Bye.